Welcome to HarpSong, presented by Moon Over the Trees Music and Theater Productions, bringing people together through collaboration, creativity, and community, all through the arts. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm your host, Maureen Buscarino, and I hope to inspire you and to help you discover amazing music and artists from around the world. Okay. Rachel and Ruth, thank you so much for being with me here today on HarpSong, and we got the video going too. I am so excited about your upcoming project. So maybe if you want to just introduce yourselves, and then we can talk about how you met each other.
Yeah.
So we can kind of hear a bit about you.
Well,
Rachel,
well, many of you know myself already. I've been on the podcast before. Been on the podcast, got the t-shirt, got the mug, everything. So you'll all know me as a harpist who's kind of mainly Scottish harp, but I'm sure some of you, especially those of you who've been at Somerset before, know that I do a lot of Manx harp teaching as well, and that's really how I kind of came to meet Ruth. Yeah.
Hello, hi. Hello, Mai. That means good day in Manx. So it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having us on the show. And I'm a Manx Gaelic singer from the Isle of Man, and the Isle of Man, as many of you who know Manx tunes from Rachel, is right in the middle of the British Isles. It's equidistant between England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. It's a little Celtic nation. It's only about, I'm not very good at kilometres, I work in miles, but 33 miles long by about 16 wide at its broadest point. So it's pretty tiny. And I'm an instrumentalist as well as being a singer. And I also speak Manx too. And that's me. That's me, Ruth from the Isle of Man.
Ah, that's great. What instruments do you play?
So I play flute and I play piano as well. And really bad violin. Like I've got like grade one. I could play like open strings and it not be awful, and that's about my sort of prowess. And anyway.
It's and then how did you meet on the island? I know Rachel goes there or went.
I can't actually remember the first time we met. I can remember hearing you, Ruth, singing Pur Sibyl, like Purst in the White House years ago before I even knew who you were. And I was like, who's that singing that? That's those songs. Like I used to sing those songs at school. Why is she singing that? Like it was all like I was like, who is that singing the songs from my nation? But I can't actually remember how I first met you. Would it have been because we were involved in Lorient, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was probably mutual friends and Lorient, because obviously like you've had a connection to the island for a long time, and I guess you would have met your fiance, who's from the island, when I was at university, and then when I came back to the island and lived on the island after uni, I think that's probably when we met. So it's been a good while now. It's probably been about 9 or 10 years, which is like crazy times, but in a good way. So I mean, like, because Rach comes over to the island and teaches Manx harp. So, you know, when in normal times when we're actually allowed to be in the same place, we do see each other fairly regularly. And then, of course, when different music festivals and things as well, we often end up at similar ones like Lorient and things. So, you know, and that's how we kind of met. And
we
friends.
should even if we were in real life situation, I would have even seen you more because you're now the Manx language person at Culture Vannon, which is where I do teaching. So I would be, if things were normal, I'd be like having a cup of tea with Ruth before I started teaching. But she's had that job since I've been Zooming. So
this is it. Like I started at that role end of November full time. So I've only been in it kind of full time. I've only been in it 4 months, and like pretty much 2 of them have been in lockdown. So it's been weird so far. But we would have been in the same space. Like normally we will be like once a month, every Friday, I'll be like, hey, Rach. So I've been looking forward to that. It'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be really nice.
I think everyone's looking forward to that too. Definitely.
Yeah.
So the festival you're talking about takes place in Brittany, right? The Lorient Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I've got my Manx. I had my Year of the Isle of Man cup from Lorient.
Oh.
It wasn't purposeful. I use them all the time. Every year they have a country of honor every year, And in 2015, it was the Isle of Man and Cornwall, who are friends that we buddy up with quite a lot because they were another small Celtic nation. And yeah, this was the Manx, but it's really faded now. Like it was bright red, but because I use it so much, so
you're showing me up with all your merchandise, Rach. You've got your like your hoodie,
honestly,
corp, and you've got your Edinburgh Harp Festival, like Year of the Isle of Man in the background. I know, yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, I've got like a plant. That's it. That's me. Oh well, never mind. Better work on that. Anyway, yeah.
So okay, I definitely want to talk to you about how this whole album came about. So you have performed together.
Yes. Yeah.
So and then go ahead.
Yeah. I think like we first started. Did we do the Edinburgh Harp Festival before Cruinnicht or was it after Cruinnicht? I really can't remember.
It was after Cruinnicht, yeah. We did Cruinnicht.
So it was after Cruinnicht. But did we know we were going to be involved in the Edinburgh Harp Festival before Cruinnicht? That was right. Okay, so we knew that during the Edinburgh Harp Festival, or like we kind of went through about 5 years where we kind of concentrated on a Celtic country, like actually Lorient does. We kind of had a focus. So we had like Brittany, Scotland, Ireland, where we would have more groups from one area, and managed to convince them to do the Isle of Man. So they had my wonderful harp group all came over, and we kind of took part in a youth concert, and they kind of wanted me to do Manx stuff because at that time there was no other kind of young professionals or professional harp players performing from the island. And I was like, well, how about if we do a little bit of Manx language, because that's really flourishing on the island and it would be really good to give that a platform. So I suggested Ruth, and then we kind of started working on that, and then we got to perform at the Islands Festival called The Gathering, Cruinnicht, in the summer. And we'd worked before in various other projects, like composition projects on the island that we'd both been brought in. So we had played together, but it kind of, it gave us a little bit more of a kind of want to do stuff. And I always remember Isabel Miras, who's the artistic director of the Edinburgh Harp Festival, she said we were the favourite thing of that year of the festival, and she still goes on about it, which was really sweet. But it means a lot to have someone like that say that to you. So yeah, and then we'd always wanted to do an album, but we've just been too busy with our diaries, because although I'm on the island like mostly 4 days out of every month, like I do a lot of teaching there. That's not enough. I can't squeeze in being in doing a recording around my teaching.
Sure. So
we've just, it's taken a global pandemic to find space in our diary very much.
It's one good thing that happened.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, it's like Rachel saying, it's just, it's kind of the stars have aligned now in terms of our time to be able to do it. So it's really cool. Yeah.
And like the next, like this year is going to be still very quiet. I mean, things might pick up performance wise maybe in the fall, but certainly over here, like the summer, and then next year is going to be really busy with touring. So it really is, this is kind of the year to spend the time on it. And it's really, I think it's really good for our kind of mental health and our kind of like our own creative health to have a new focus. You know what I mean? To be able to have something to work on and to have a new goal and have something to be excited about, because it's not been the happiest of years. So yeah.
I'm glad with the technology we can all stay in touch also.
Totally.
So are you gonna
Maureen, I've never seen you so much. I've never chatted with you so much over a year.
That's true.
You and Kathy D'Angelo from Somerset, every now and then I have to have a Zoom meeting with her or something. It's like normal life speaking to you guys now.
No, I was just talking to her today on Zoom. We were emailing each other. She's like, why are we emailing? She's like, go get on Zoom. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's nice to be able to do that, isn't it? It's like you get so much more done as well. Like
in the past I'd be like, oh no. Like, but now I'm you get used to seeing your face on the screen after a while.
Yeah, exactly, totally.
So are you going to record it remotely and then just share the files with each other, or are you going to try and work on it separately, and then when you can get together, play it together?
I mean, you could record it remotely, but we don't want to, and we want to record it in the same place. I mean, that's really important to us to do that, because I think quite a lot, you know, like obviously you can work to click tracks and things like that, but I know when me and Rach perform together and work together, like we really respond to each other in like, you know, body language and just kind of playing around with the dynamics and playing around with the time and things like that. I think with voice and harp, like harp is like a voice, isn't it, really, as well? I always think, and I don't know, I think those two, I just think it needs to be done live. So that's what we're planning to do. And we've got some dates in mind to be able to do it in the same space on the Isle of Man. And we've got a backup plan in case that doesn't happen. So we were thinking very logically about it, because the Isle of Man is in a slightly different position to the UK because we're not part of the UK, and we've got obviously this border of sea around us. So we'll just have to see what the border situation is like, but we're pretty confident we'll get it done, you know, live.
Hopefully, we're thinking it will hopefully be in the late summer. So I think Somerset will be the last online thing I do, and then I'm gonna literally, in fact, I found out that I've got a friend's wedding, but I was looking at one stage at like working out when my last Somerset thing was, and if I could then jump on the boat and go to the Isle of Man, start my 2 weeks isolation, and then just appear in the sessions going, yeah, I'm in a different country. Like, yeah. So yeah, it's all a bit mad, but yeah, like the late summer we think is going to work. Summer in Scotland is a little bit earlier here. It's weird to describe, just the way that our school holidays work. We're always a little bit out of sync with the Isle of Man, so it works well for us to go late to the island. It's
probably like a wee bit like in America, I guess, isn't it? Because like in America, you guys go back to school in mid-August, is it not? Am I right?
Usually
or start of
some schools do. More out west, like Arizona or even down in southern states, they're mid-August, but but where I am, like New York area, it's September.
So. Okay, so I suppose it's a big place, we can vary. I think I just know a few American teachers and they're all like, oh, August, no, we're back to school. So I was like, oh, it's like Scotland. We're all in the
some of it, some of the states, but so you don't have a projected date for it to be released? Maybe like autumn of 22?
Probably late 21 or early 22, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Because we reckon there would be a few things in the summer of 2022 that we could get. There's a kind of like a big kind of circuit of like Celtic festivals and stuff, inter-Celtic festivals. So yeah, we would kind of be hopefully targeting that. So it just depends on time scale, I guess. Like hopefully we'll be able to record most of it in August and then mix and master and stuff. And
well, you guys are really well loved because your crowdfunder is, you reached your goal and surpassed it. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Exciting, but people should still put in donations for your album. What are some of the things that people can receive at the different levels if they send over?
Well, we have you can get the album ahead of release, so we'll send it out to you I think around a month ahead of the release, and then or you can just get it normally digitally, and then you can have the chance to learn with us, whether it's you fancy doing a little bit of Manx singing with Ruth, she'll take you through a song or two, or a harp lesson with myself, which I'm really quite excited about, because I think after I've been doing all my harp at home workshops and I've got to know a lot of the names of the folk who kind of tune in because I receive their orders on my email list, and quite a few of them have signed up for lessons, which is really cool. So I'll be able to put a face to a name and things. Yeah. And then there's some other kind of little treats and things. If you're in the Isle of Man or the UK, you'll be able to get some Scottish tablet. Unfortunately, not to America, because I have heard of my tablet being impounded at customs before being sent to America and Canada. Don't want to risk that.
So for people in the States that might not know what tablet is, I think we're saying it's sort of like fudge, but it's
kind of hard. Yeah, better. Yeah, it's not sticky. It's kind of like hard, like, and it's like crystallized fudge. Like when you make fudge, like you take it off and you pour it, But when you make tablet, what you have to do is you have to beat it for 10 minutes, which is when it kind of cools and starts to crystallize. And then you pour it into your trays and it immediately fully starts to crystallize. It's like really fast work when you have to pour it. But it's like melt in your mouth. It's just a lot of sugar and condensed milk. It's terrible for your teeth, but it's really good.
That's why Rachel's got really toned arms. It's not actually to do with the harp playing, it's because of all the tablet making.
Honestly,
it's
a lot of story. But I will bring some. I'll try and the next time I'm out in the US, if I come back to Somerset, I'll try and smuggle some in my suitcase.
I don't want you to get stuck at customs. They'll probably just eat it all anyway. So.
Yeah, I'll just write them. It'll be fine.
and Ruth, you're doing calligraphy.
Yes. I mean, I'm no professional calligrapher person or anything, but I have done a hell of a lot of it now because I did my wedding invitations in calligraphy and envelopes, and I did a lot of practice on it. And I just thought, I want to do a really nice job of this. So I'm self-taught, but done a few workshops and stuff. And I thought, it's a nice thing to do if people have a particular song they like from the album and it's got Manx Gaelic lyrics, and I could write out the lyrics and do it really beautifully on some nice mounted board and things like that. So, it's just something different really if people want a wee bit of Manx Gaelic in their house, and especially because it's a minority language and things as well. And if anyone has an interest in the island and, or connections, because there's a lot of, people with Manx heritage living out in the States and anywhere really, lots of places.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What a beautiful idea. I love it. That's so great. So what else can people do to support you have you chosen the songs? Actually, that's really what I wanted to. Have you picked out what you want to do yet, or you're not sure, or you have some idea?
We have a kind of list of ones that we're thinking. Like some of them there's a lot of kind of well-known kind of Manx language songs, and we're hoping to kind of not bring new life to them, but show them in a kind of fresh and a different light, I guess, that's suitable for our instruments. And then there's a lot of really good new writers on the island, composers, and especially in the Manx language. There's a woman called Annie Kissack who does a lot of choirs and choral writing and songwriting in the Manx language, and her stuff is just stunning. And so we're looking forward to kind of doing one or two of Annie's songs and some other folks as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, bearing on what you just said, Rach, isn't it? Like the wee sort of taster of music that we did on our promo video for the crowdfunder is actually one of Annie's songs.
Yeah.
We did an arrangement of it, and but it's her song. It's just so simple but so gorgeous. And yeah, there's quite a glut of really good Manx writers over here, so we'd like to tap into that.
Yeah, and I work with so many choirs too that it'd be great to have some Manx, language pieces that we could do with choirs.
Yeah, Ruth could probably totally sort you out with that, because is there not like there will be choral stuff available that we can. Yeah,
yep. Sure, I can put you in the there's a choral book called Carrere, which I'll send you a link to it. Yeah, it's really good. And it's called SATB arrangements. Yeah,
I may have to take a lesson with you on pronunciation and all.
Yeah, of course.
You don't say anything inappropriate.
It's not too hard. I find it as because the Manx language is the same family as like Scottish Gaelic and Irish Gaelic, and I found it really challenging at first with Manx Gaelic because I'm so used to reading Scottish Gaelic, but now I'm kind of used to seeing Manx and knowing that I kind of almost have to say it as it's written, and it makes so it's not as challenging, I have to say, as Scottish Gaelic and Irish Gaelic. I would from my side of things, I would say so.
It's basically got a different writing system for it, because it was written down a lot later than Irish and Scottish Gaelic, because of course the population was so much smaller, and they would only print books if it was kind of financially worthwhile, I suppose, or that they needed it for a reason. And I suppose there was lots of the population who didn't read and things, so it got written down a lot later, so it's not quite the same orthography, and so that's why it's so different. So I'm the same when I go up to Scotland. I have to I know how to sound things out, and then I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Okay, I'm good. That's cool. Yeah, but no, it definitely help you with some pronunciation. But as Rach says, it's very accessible. So we'll be fine. We'll be grand.
And did you use a drone on that video that you shot for the because Rachel, you're like on a hill, and then I just
no.
saw
So
I got
but this is all my lockdown skills. Like so lockdown learned skills of video editing and just sweet talking our videographer and stuff. So because we're obviously like, I haven't seen Ruth for over a year now because I've not been on the island for over a year. The borders have been shut for over a year. In fact, I think it's a year today they shut on the island. So we've not obviously been able to film together, and we wanted to do a nice video, so we did like a Zoom talk like we're doing now and recorded it, and that was fine. But I knew I had some drone footage that I used for another video that my brother took in the summer of me with the harp. And I knew Ruth had some really nice footage that was shot by a mutual friend of ours, a guy called Sam Hurt, who's done my videos and Ruth's. He's from the Isle of Man, but he lives in Glasgow. There's a little kind of Manx community in Glasgow. A lot of folk have kind of come here now to get involved in stuff. So I was just like, Sam, can I cut up your video, please? And he agreed. He's currently editing the Edinburgh International Harp Festival, so he's got a lot of work because I've recommended him. So I think like he's just like, yes, of course, yes, it's fine. You gave me work this month, you can do that. Oh. So that was some just very quick editing skills between, but we managed to make it work. There was only a few bits that worked well, so we made use of them.
Yeah, I'll put a link to your crowdfunder, and so people can see the video and all. I'm just so excited for you. So you're gonna have some original pieces from composers on the Isle of Man, and then obviously some traditional pieces that you're going to rework, and so like some dance tunes and all kinds of just a nice variety of and the mouth music too, the portion bell.
Well, we haven't really discussed Pershtabeel. I don't know.
No,
maybe, but
maybe a kind of Manx version of it. Well, we're like we've got. There is going to be some tune sets, and I guess like for me, like it's been a while since I played totally kind of solo-ish, so it's going to be a good one for kind of getting the solo harp chops up out this album, kind of doing some stuff. So yeah, we're quite excited about it.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so thrilled for you. And then so you now that you reached the crowdfunder goal, now you can get all the artists that you want to work with to mix your album and to do your artwork and also that's so amazing and exciting.
Yeah, it just means we can breathe, like because we hit that goal. We also had some funding from the Isle of Man Arts Council, and it just means that we're going to be able to like provide a little bit of employment for our fellow creatives, like the guy Sam who we cut up his video of. Like he'll be able to do a video for us. We'll be able to hire him and be able to have like a kind of a producer who can kind of not do things creative but kind of keep tabs on us when we're in the studio. And we'll be able to use a really good guy for mixing and mastering as well, which is really good. Someone who knows what they're doing for vocal music. I think vocal trad music is really important. So
get that properly EQ'd and everything.
So Ruth, you have other albums as well too?
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah. I was trying to think if there's any up here I could just show you, but I haven't prepped very well. There's just loads of like random stuff on there.
We'll put your website up so people can
buy
your music, buy Rachel's music. Harp at home with Rachel.
That's it. I've done 2 solo albums of Manx Gaelic song, smidgens of English on there, English language Manx songs as well. But I've worked with 2 other bands as well and done 3 CDs between those 2. So so used to being in the recording studio and it's I really like it. But it's been a while since I actually recorded my last thing. It was 2018 was my last album. So, I'm like, yes, I want another challenge. I know my voice has been maturing and getting better, and because I've just been getting older really as well. And, that's simply it. And so it's really nice. I want to be able to kind of, capitalize on that really. And I'm excited. I'm so excited to record with Rachel. It's gonna be like, yay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Rachel's last album, Sparks, was super duper popular and such a fun album that
yay,
love it. So I can't wait to see what you two come up with for your album. It's going to be amazing. So was there anything else that you guys wanted to mention or things that you have going on or?
No, like we're just like so amazed that the crowdfunder's done so well. So
Yeah.
like, but I mean, you can still, like, every little extra will still help, and that as well. It's just a good opportunity of getting the album before the release date, because you know you won't have another chance with that after, after the crowdfunder ends. So
Right.
yeah.
And ordering it directly from you instead of it,
Mhm.
on iTunes or whatever.
Exactly.
Then more of the
Yeah.
proceeds will go directly to you, which is
Exactly.
That's it. I mean, I think as well, because there's a wee bit of the platform fees as well that Crowdfunder takes. So, although it looks like we've got this particular balance, it's actually a bit less than that. And so, as Rach says, every little helps, because it just means that we have a bit more to play with, and that we can, provide employment to various different creatives, and we can sort of rest a little bit easier. We don't, sort of have to, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I think another part of the crowdfunder is that people can be a part of your project.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting.
It's like ownership and belonging and things. Yeah. Super
exactly.
important. Yeah.
So cool. I think that's a beautiful part of that whole, bringing that community together and keeping people
Totally.
So interested in what you're doing.
It's nice for us as well, because it's just like folks saying, like, yeah, it is a good idea. It is a good thing that you guys are working together. You should do that. It's like, oh, okay, we are doing the right thing, going ahead with this.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, good. Folk are into it, which is nice.
And then
nothing like a bit of pressure with that as well, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But you were competing with 19 other people for the funding too, right?
Yeah,
to a certain level.
So yeah, it was a thing with Creative Scotland. So like, we have funding from the Isle of Man Arts Council, which is the Isle of Man's Arts Council, and Creative Scotland is the equivalent in Scotland. And they had a thing where it was like match funding. So as soon as you reach your £1,000, they would give you another £1,000. That was guaranteed. But after that, you were competing against other folk until the pot of money disappeared. So yeah, I think we were like the 4th group to hit the 3rd milestone. There is another milestone, but it's really quite big. And to be honest, I don't think we need it that much. We're fine without it. Like, it's almost like we'd rather that money go to the other groups now. Like, we're satisfied. We've hit our target that we wanted to do. And yeah, we have the other groups are in more need of that further boost now. So yeah, do have a look. If you type in Creative Scotland and Crowd Match, you'll see the other projects. I think both me and Ruth have been donating to the other ones now that we've hit our goal. I think I paid one lot to, one of the rewards was they would write you a limerick. So I did that because I figured I could tie that in with harp playing somehow. And then Ruth, did you order books or something?
I did, yeah. There's a print company called Ink 404, and they have 8 new books by new artists. Sorry, I've got artists on the brain. New authors. And like one of them was about Schitt's Creek, and I just was like, I love Schitt's Creek. I need that. And so there were other cool books as well, but I just thought it was very, sounded really good. And then there's like a printmaking company as well, and they were offering like things from like £5 right through to like 650. Obviously I went on the lower end of that, but yeah, it's just nice to be able to support others as well. So yeah
it really,
got a couple of little things,
and then they can see that support like right away, which is so much fun just to see that kind of needle just moving up on the
totally. Yeah, I think we had 2 days of just pressing refresh. Like I was like filming for the Edinburgh Harp Festival on Monday, on the same day that, because it had to launch on Monday, that was the rules. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then the Edinburgh Harp Festival were like, we have to record on that day. It's the only day everyone's available, and the venues. I was like, oh great, okay. So like the biggest things this year all happening at once. And like, so I was just like, I was so exhausted by the time Monday night came, because I'd like been driving to Edinburgh, which is not something that happens a lot at all just now, because we're still in regional lockdowns here. We're not allowed to travel out of region. But I was had permission to go out, and like, a drive for 2 hours, and then filming and a photo shoot, and then the fact that there was this adrenaline of crowdfunding going on, and like, but it was a bit addictive pressing refresh and seeing.
Yeah, it was.
So things that you have going on. So Ruth, what do you have going on this year, besides the album, that you'd want people to know about or support or be involved with? Like lessons?
Well, music. Well, I mean, I would love to be, well, I used to do a lot of music teaching before I started working at Culturvanen. I'm doing a lot less music teaching now, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately, because I love what I'm doing, but yes, slightly less on the music teaching side of things. Although I am really excited to be able to do some Manx Gaelic song tutorials as part of, the Crowdfunder initiative. But yeah, I mean, I've got something that's hopefully coming up at the end of the year, all being well with lockdown, borders and all that kind of thing, which is doing something in October, mid-October. Well, I think it's mid-October anyway, I need to check, with St Andrews University. And they're doing kind of like quite a big kind of festival, and it's all around the theme of pilgrimage and journey. No, not pilgrimage, just journeys. But it's the Columcille 1500 celebrations this year, which is a big celebration between Ireland, Scotland and the Isle of Man, and celebrating Saint Columba, who brought Gaelic to the nations, basically the Gaelic speaking nations, and seen as a very important cultural person. So I'll be at that festival doing a thing with an inter-Gaelic group I sing with, but also with a group of singers from the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester in England, called the Apex Singers. So we're going to be doing quite kind of quite classical, but classical meets trad and Gaelic and Irish and Manx, doing quite a lot of choral arrangements for them, and we're going to be combining with them and things. And then obviously separate, this is Culturvanen stuff, but there's a big celebration of the Manx language this year, so I'm excited about that, and that's in June, and through June from the 9th to the 9th of July. And if anyone wants to find out about Manx, and if anyone wants to learn Manx as well, we do Zoom classes for free, and so if anyone's keen, just go to learnmanx.com and you can drop me an email from there. And I'd love to get more people speaking Manx, so
wow, that's
hit
amazing.
me up. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, that was a bit long.
No, that's so
no, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned about learnmanx.com. That's really cool.
Yeah,
there's loads of cool stuff on there. Yeah,
Culturvanen is all about the Isle of Man, like the culture in Isle of Man. So
yeah, I mean, just basically about taking the culture forward, and it's about it's about really kind of making sure that kind of people know that, like, if people are interested in the Isle of Man and they've got an interest in the culture and the language and the music and dance and everything, the history, that like there's a place for them in the community and in the heart of the island, if that doesn't sound too naff, like, because if you're interested, then you're our kind of person, because we like to promote it and support it. It's all about that. But it's worth again checking out Culturvanen as well. So culturvanen.im is a great website. There's loads of beautiful videos on there about folklore and customs, and it's just a great website, so I'd highly recommend checking it out, and you can see our kind of mission and things that we do too. So yeah.
So great. Yeah, I know Rachel in her Somerset workshops, the Somerset Folk Harp Festival, she's mentioned some of the Culturvanen videos, and
oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
You will have done. You'll have been like,
I've taken the little leaflets as well, the little fold-on leaflets, and I give them out. I'm like, I'm always reading the cupboards. I'm like, Culturvanen. I'm like, Chloe, can I please just take this? Can I have merch stuff to take to Somerset? Lots of stickers and things.
I'm gonna have to give you some stuff to take over next time you go, because I was just gonna say there's part of my job is doing sort of like outreachy things, and one of the things I got recently, which haven't been launched, I must say, because it's brand new, but will be launched later this year, is visible badges for people to wear who speak Manx. So it's like speak Manx to me, it says speak Manx to me, so it's people can kind of see other Manx speakers, because with it being a minority language, I think there's this assumption that like hardly anyone speaks it, but it's not true. Loads and loads of people are learning. As Rach said, it's really doing very, very well. It's flourishing. And so I got these badges. How cute are these? It says Law Gilrum, which means speak Manx to me. It's totally probably backwards on the screen, but whatever. But we're going to get some nice things like postcards and stickers with Manx phrases on. So I'll make sure she goes over with a few of them next time.
Oh, that's so great. So and Rachel, you've got a million things going on this year too. I mean, you're super busy.
So well, obviously next big thing is Edinburgh International Harp festival, which is being edited just now. In fact, I have to send an email to someone giving them access to the Google Drive so the films can be dropped in as well a little bit. But so that's really exciting. So that's 9th to 12th of April. Still a few places left on courses. But there's an early bird concert pass which goes up on the 1st of April. So I'm aware this might go out before then or after then. But to be honest, the price that it's going up to isn't all that much more expensive. So it's a good deal. So that's happening. And then, yeah, once that's clear, then I need to get my head round into thinking about summer festivals, which is kind of a repeat of last year. I'm spending my summer in America, but from my room here. So, so I'm teaching again at the Ohio Scottish Art School, which is always lots of epic fun. It's kind of quite long sessions, that one. Somerset, of course, doing lots of Manx music there. I think I've got 2. I was checking my contract last night actually because I hadn't sent my contract back. I was bad. I hadn't sent my contract back and I got a wee nudge and I was like, oh, so that's what I'm doing. So I've got 2 new Manx workshops to teach. So I need to film or at least decide what I'm doing for those. 2 Scottish ones, I think. And then there's another 2 Manx ones are going to be in the kind of archive bank that you'll get access to. So that's really cool. So loads of Manx music actually. And then teaching at Common Ground in the Hill again, which is a lot more, it's quite laid back, that one. That's a lot, yeah, kind of not quite as intense.
With Kim Robertson and Sunita? Is that the
it's Joe Morrison who organizes that one. So
okay.
Although it's like there's not the most, because it's kind of individual classes, like you don't like there's not a whole lot of, there's not lots of harp stuff all on in one day. It's over 3 weeks, so I probably won't even, I might see them for a meeting, but that'll be really about it. So yeah, that, and then head over to Isle of Man. Oh, I'm gonna do a new book. See, wow. This is all kind of like cool. Somerset's partial plot. I was just like, I need another goal, not as if this is enough, this new album. So I was like, Kathy, can I launch my new book at your festival? And she said yes, which means I have to actually do the book. So to be honest, most of the music is there. I just need to actually edit it and make it look good. So yeah, so that's plenty to keep me going.
Yeah,
and you all know that I don't really ever stop. No. So but looking forward to getting over to the Isle of Man. And weirdly, I think like the way that the border situation is, that the chances are it's very likely I have to do 2 weeks isolation when I arrive. And sometimes the internet isn't that good in the Isle of Man, so I'm not going to be able to do any much teaching. So that will be like 2 weeks of just watching, like, well, maybe not Netflix. I'll have to load up my iPad with Netflix before I go, just in case.
Bring a book.
Yeah, so if anybody knows of an isolation cottage in the Isle of Man, I was joking with my pal earlier, that has a sea view, like really good internet, a hot tub and a gin bar, like, can you book it for me for my 2 weeks isolation holiday?
That sounds amazing.
I know you'd appreciate that, Maureen, with the gin.
I think it sounds great. I just want to do it and I'm not even isolating.
Exactly.
No.
Oh, gin bar.
But oh my gosh, thank you so much for talking about this album. I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be just incredible. And everything that I know, everything that Rachel does is just, spot on and awesome. So I'm sure this album's going to be incredible too. I mean, even judging by that little video that you guys have up, it's going to be amazing. So
yeah, we're looking forward to it. And hopefully we might be able to get out to the US in future years. There's as Ruth said, there's a little kind of Manx contingent, the North American Manx Association.
Yeah. I'm going out there next year actually. I was supposed to be going out last year, but well, I mean, yeah, I had lots of trips planned last year, which was very annoying for music and for my honeymoon, but let's not speak of that. There's lots of people in much worse situations. So, but yeah, they rescheduled the convention for the North American Manx Association to very start of August 2022, and it's actually going to be in Plymouth, Massachusetts, so it's not a huge amount away from where you are in New Jersey, isn't it?
Yeah. See, now my mind's thinking about possibilities of things that could be done, because that's not a whole lot far away from
later than.
No, like we can talk about.
Yeah,
that
no, we could. Yeah. So,
well, maybe, maybe you could come and perform with me at NAMA.
Yeah.
Or
danger of like starting to think so.
No. I'm just outside. I'm north of New York City, so a little venue here, like around here, that would be perfect. So, but yeah, that would be great.
See, this is why Zoom is great, isn't it? So much better than emails. Things come out organically.
So thank you so much, Rachel and Ruth, for being here with me today, and to see you and to meet you, Ruth. It's so wonderful to meet you, and I hope that we'll bump into each other when you're in the States next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. I've never been to the States, and it's been on my to-do list for such a long time. And this was going to be a year of first. Last year was going to be a year of first, but I'm like, you know what? Next year is going to be a year of first. It's still going to be great.
Yeah, next year's going to be a big party.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Rachel, it's always wonderful to see you. So good luck with the harp festival that's going on, and I know the work that you do with the harp festival, the Edinburgh Harp Festival, is incredible, and I know that you inspired so many people this time last year to keep the festivals going.
It's been good. I think the harp world has been really, really good at kind of embracing online life. Like now it feels normal for me to just be chatting with harp buddies on Zoom halfway across the world. It's totally normal now. And it's really nice.
It's just so much sharing and information and people meeting each other from all over the world. It's incredible. So and I'm looking forward to your album, and everyone should go out and get onto the crowdfund page and get the album ahead of time, or get some lovely Scottish tablet, or some beautiful calligraphy. So please go on that website and find this beautiful music. So thanks for listening to Moon Over the Trees Music and Theater Productions podcast. Dive into the show notes at moonoverthetrees.com. And if you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend and subscribe to the podcast.